Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and I hope you've had a good last couple of days and you've been doing lots of projects and decluttering in your own homes, for those of you that are on a similar journey to me. For those of you that have already done this, then thank you so much for the advice and support you've given me and the encouragement to everybody who's trying to declutter their homes. So as many of you know, I was unaware that I needed to declutter when I first started out on this journey. I just thought that I was untidy. And then through the comments that you added, many people kept saying that I just have too much stuff. And I needed to get rid of things, I needed to clear out, and I needed to declutter, which really showed me and made me realise the changes that I needed to make. So for those of you that have been following me for a while will know that usually I start my videos with a few clips as to what you can expect to see in this video. So yes, I will be doing some work in the kitchen, sorting out my washing, sorting out more of my loft cupboards, tidying up the hallway after my daughter got back from camp. I now do feel like I've got a bit more time on my hands. I say that half smiling, but once now camp is over, I've got a lot less pressure, really. So I did think to myself, okay, I'm going to spend some more time with my loft cupboard, so you'll see me do that. And what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to maintain, as well as every week go back to a couple of areas to clear out more, declutter more, sort out more, improve my systems. So you can see there I was just cleaning the draining rack. You couldn't actually see on the video. I really needed a good clean. And there were some marks that I struggled to get off, such as why I used a small cocktail stick just to kind of scrape the top, which doesn't damage the stainless steel, but it does mean I could get that kind of mark off. I also used that around the taps where I'd got some lime scale that had built up around the tap. So I hope you're all really, really well. So just had busy weekends with the camp. So the girls had a fantastic time, it seems, and several of them said this camp was better than previous camps, which I'm really pleased about. Had some really positive feedback about the food, about the activities, and they all loved it. They were just very tired. Also, there was a few girls that their negative comment was about insects, and one girl was frightened of the dark. So I think I'll have to emphasise in the parent meeting that it is dark at night time, and on camp there are insects. There's not that much we can do about that. Daddy longlegs at this time of the year. So we had sort of various bouts of screaming, which in the end we had to step in and ask, please, no screaming. But they had a lovely time. So I was really, really pleased. And then Sunday afternoon, we just stayed at home. My daughter caught up on homework. I did some jobs in the house and just relaxed because I also ached. And I wasn't quite sure why I ached so much. It wasn't like I had carried much or moved stuff, anything heavy around. So I'm not quite sure why that was. I did want to go kayaking with one of the groups. But I realised that I didn't really bring enough sort of spare clothes. And some of the girls got very wet in the first group. And I thought, if I get that wet, I don't have spares. So I didn't get to do that. So next time, maybe. The leaders always get some of the badges. So I got the badge which said that where we'd stayed at Hobbs, which was nice. But I do feel like they gave the biodiversity badge out to the guides. And I do feel like I should have been given that. It's a guide badge. But I feel like I should have been given that because I was the one who led all the activities. Honestly, I led all the activities. I organised everything. And as I said before, I know that I can be sort of quite controlling, but that is because I want the girls to have a good time. And yes, you can leave them for an element, just to chill in their groups and just chat about, what they want to chat about. But if you leave them for too long, what happens is they end up falling out, end up being silly, end up talking about things you don't really want them to talk about, and you end up with problems. Whereas if they're like fully engaged and you've got different activities and you organise games, they respond really well with that. But that was literally left for me to do. I also did a lot of the cooking, a lot of the organising with the food. But, you know, if I get positive feedback from parents and the girls, then I'm very, very happy. So then that begins the new week. So I'm recording this on Monday. My husband's gone into... No, Tuesday, sorry. God, I've forgotten what day it is. So yesterday I did loads of work in the house. And today I've worked a few hours with job number 2. I'm not that busy with job number 2 at the moment. It's quite steady, which is quite nice, rather than sort of feeling like I'm behind on things. Job number 1 is still busy. And so, yeah, I did some jobs in the afternoon around the house. It's been a bit sunny and rainy, a bit like April showers. But we're also getting a bit of building work, repair work done to one of our walls. So that's really nice to sort things in our own house. The Great Yarmouth project's nearly done, so I'm meeting the lady on Saturday. So the last thing to be done there was to fit a new toilet seat in the downstairs toilet. My husband did that yesterday. I did have a little laugh because he sent me a full video of the toilet seat go down, which is soft close, and the toilet seat go down, which is soft close. And then he sort of moved it at the side and I could see how sturdy it was. And I said to him afterwards, you know, romance is not dead. A photograph of a soft closed toilet seat. We had a bit of a joke, but I very much appreciate him doing that. So now everything has been done. So we're ready to go, and hopefully everything will be signed on Saturday. A lady's going to be moving in. She has got several children, and she's the lady who, when I did some viewings a few weeks ago, there was one lady who was really interested, but then she said, oh, I really want to be closer to Gorleston. There was a lady, a man, and a sort of an older son. They all work full time. But then when I sort of asked a few more questions, that seemed that she'd not really worked in her job that long. He was between jobs. And the 17-year-old did work full time and had been in the job for about 6 months. But he can't go on the contract at 17. And also when I sort of asked questions about, have you had any sort of issues of credit in the past, and asked for copies of statements, she was a bit vague, and then she sent me a message saying that she decided against it. So, and the reason why she decided against it, I was not convinced by. So I think I was right to ask the questions, and probably she doesn't want to show me her statements for a particular reason. And then this lady who's got children, sounds like she has been through an incredibly difficult situation with her husband. And when I met her, if I'm honest, I didn't talk so much about the house because I was actually really concerned for her welfare. And I thought, as she spoke to me, she seemed so desperate for the house. I thought she was going to break down in tears. And I said, are you okay? And she just looked at me, these big brown eyes, and I thought, oh my goodness, like whatever's happened. And she said, I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. So she's working full time, looking after children and trying to sort out her housing situation. So she's very, very excited that I've decided to go ahead with her. So hopefully it will all work out. So the rest of this week, I'm going to be working the next few days. And then on Saturday, my daughter is helping at a school project in the morning. And I'm going to be going out to Yarmouth with my husband. And then Sunday, we haven't got anything planned in. Also for Saturday, we are going out for dinner for my father-in-law's birthday. So that's something to look forward to as well. So in the video, you can see me tidying the hall up and the bags up from camp. So most of my clothes went in the wash. All of my daughter's things went in the wash. And then we've got spare pairs of shoes. My pink bag, I've had that for a long time. It's a bag that my husband bought me, but it doesn't really hold that much. And of course, we send all the paperwork. We ask girls not to bring suitcases because they're not practical for camp, wheeling them across the muddy grass and so on. But actually, I don't have a good soft bag, so I need to think about that for the future. My daughter's got a good one. She got one for the French trip, but mine's not very good. Now the pink bag's actually better for a hand luggage bag when you fly, go on holiday in the aeroplane. So looking back at this video, I am looking and thinking, why do I put so much on the floor? Also, I don't know whether anybody else is like this, but does anybody else find it easier to see what to do by looking through a camera? This is going to sound really weird, but like the other day, on my other channel, Emma's Life in Norfolk, I decided to sort out some of my pots. Pile some of my pots up, clear some of my pots and just sort the area out. When I look at the whole area, you feel like, where am I going to start? Okay, well, I'll start at the pot that's closest to my feet. I'll pick it up and I'll start stacking them. But then you get to a point and you kind of, what should I do next? And I've actually found that, I just go back to the camera, which is recording, check the camera, and then I can instantly see, I need to sort this. It's really strange when you then play things back. You suddenly see things in a completely different way. I wonder whether that's something that anybody else has. So you can see I'm still trying to get on top of all of the washing. That's because we had all the bed laundry to do all at once after my washing machine broke. I've had the school camp and now the guides camp, as well as all the other washing. There was probably about 6 loads that I was trying to get on top of. We have had some nice weather, but also this weird April shower type weather where it's lovely and sunny. It was so sunny the other day in the garden. I thought, oh dear, I need sun cream on my face. I feel like I'm burning. And then literally 30 minutes later, we've got loads and loads of rain. So kind of as good that I've got this veranda, because I can't rely at the moment on putting it out either on the hanger or on a line across the garden. So at this point, I'm going to go through some of your comments. Now, you know how much I appreciate your comments, and it's lovely to read comments from all over the world. People are adding comments from different parts of America, different parts of the United Kingdom, India, New Zealand. The list goes on. So thank you very much to those of you that take the time to add your thoughts. I find the comments really interesting, and I know a number of you like me reading through them. So I'm going to go through some of your comments. So Nan Holmes says, that is a lovely charity. I like the idea of donating locally. So for those of you that are new here, Nan has commented about the fact that for the month of October, any money that I raise minus taxes will be going to a charity which take teddy bears across all of Norfolk, mainly to where children may be in situations of stress, of illness or unhappiness, for example, in accident and emergency. And these teddy bears not only give a great amount of comfort to the child who's unwell or distressed, as well as the parents, but they're also really good in getting a child to open up about the way they feel. So, for example, a teddy may be given and the doctor, throughout the duration of the child's stay, might say to the child, oh, how do you think the teddy is feeling at the moment, to get the child to talk? Or if Teddy felt like you, where would it hurt? Would it be in his tummy? Would it be in his hand? It's different ways that opens up the conversation, makes a child look at the doctor, smile, and then potentially start talking. Not always, but it's one way that is used to, certainly with my daughter, when she was beginning to feel better, this is when she was admitted to hospital 5 years ago, and they spoke about the teddy's little ribbon and different things, she straight away looked up and smiled at the doctor. So it is a good way to reassure and give that comfort to the children. Now, the man who messaged me has told me how much these teddies are each. So I did get a message from the man at this charity, man called Graham, And I said to him that usually, you know, I said I run quite a small channel. I don't make a large amount of money from my channel. If I have a really good month, it might be about £80. And then obviously I've got to think about taking off tax, because tax is so high in the United Kingdom. But this man Graham has put, and I said it might be about £60. So he put, thank you for the offer of a potential £60. It would be very welcome and would be enough to cover the purchase of 26 bears, as they are £2.26 each, including VAT, which will certainly help children in the future. Now that would be fantastic if we could try to get to 30 bears or 40 bears. So know that every time you watch any adverts, I think someone said on a couple of channels that you need to watch for about 30 seconds, then I will then get a small amount of money, that all adds up. And then he sent me a nice message and just said, I look forward to hearing you in the future. I wish you every success in the channel and a lot more views, which was very, very kind of him. So that's what I'm hoping. I think it's a really worthwhile charity, and it's very small. And I often feel that the large organisations, they get so much more, and the small organisations end up getting a bit overlooked, don't they? Because nobody really knows much about them. Certainly I wouldn't have known anything about them if it wasn't for my daughter, when she was unwell a few years ago, and she was given one of these teddies. Now, looking at the money that I've made so far for the month sort of August, September, August actually went up. So I'd had July was £23. So as you know, I didn't really post many videos, very busy on holiday and doing other things. But then August, when I came back and did quite a lot of videos, it jumped up to £74. Now at the moment on September, it's 89. So if October is the same, then we'll have to do the maths. What did I say? I said £2.26, didn't I? If we could get £90, that would be fantastic. Take off a little bit for tax, and then he would be able to buy lots of bears using the money that you've all raised. So thank you everybody for supporting me. So you can see I'm in the kitchen and trying to sort out, put loads of things from the camp on the side, things that are left over from camp, which I then pay for. Actually, 2 of the oat milks there I'm going to take to guides on Wednesday. Although some girls made a fuss about oat milk, in the end, all of them were enjoying it. I don't think there was a single girl that wasn't having it. And one time at camp, they made a fuss about it. And this time, one girl said, oh, can't we just have ordinary hot chocolate? So I said, we've got oat, hot chocolate, squash or water. So if you don't like this hot chocolate, you can have squash. Now, a couple of reasons why we do this milk is because we've got girls that react to the steam. So they've got like dairy allergies and they react to the steam in the milk because the milk protein, I guess. So we can't have that in the room. So not all the girls are understanding about difference. That everyone, you know, people have got different requirements, different needs. But in the end, they were all drinking it. So the girls had kind of made a bit of a fuss and didn't want it. Actually, they were quite happy. So I thought, well, I'll take 2 of those containers on Wednesday and share it out with the girls, and the other 2 I will deduct from the receipt and I will pay, because my daughter will probably drink 1, maybe 2. You can see also I've got other things that need to be put away from the supermarket shop, but like many of you have said, the kitchen is never ending. You have to constantly be on top of it. I just always feel that when I go into the kitchen, it looks like there's been an explosion in the kitchen. When do I ever walk into the kitchen and it feel like it's actually completely tidy? Maybe once a week. Whereas when I go into my mum's and my mother-in-law's, their kitchen is always immaculate. So I guess they must not work on it, and I guess they must just constantly work on it. constantly put things away, constantly wipe down the side, constantly not put things down. All the things that I'm not particularly good at. So something that I've been thinking over the course of the last few weeks is when I go to put away the large utensils in that pot where I'm standing, I always struggle to put things away because it's so full. So what I decided to do was take everything out, put back the things that I use on a really regular basis. I very rarely, neither of us really use the rolling pin, so I thought, well, that can go somewhere else. I've got some duplicates of items, so I put them in a little plastic bag and I've put them in a set place in the cupboard. Now, if I don't use them over the course of the next 6 months, then I really need to think about whether I should put them back. The one exception to that is that I have got some salad spoons, which they are not used very frequently, but I don't want to get rid of them. But that's then meant that the pot is a lot emptier, which makes it much easier to find things and much easier to put things away. So it's another example of saving time. And that's what I realised with this. There's so much time wasted. I spend so much, and as you know, I don't like waste, but there's so many situations where I can't find something, I'm hunting for something. Even today, I always put my car key back in the same place, but I went to go out to take my daughter's flute to be serviced and I could not find the car key. Now that's very unusual for me because I have to put the car key back in the pot on the little table. And that's always where I put it. So I don't have this ridiculous thing where I'm hunting around trying to find it. But today, I think because kind of everything there was a little bit of change of plan, because we had the builder come and the builder should have been here on Friday, I've obviously put it in a different place, which has then impacted what I've done. So I need to retrace my steps to work out where I have put it. But I think that's a really good reflection. The amount of things that I look for, I can't remember where I've put them, they were in a safe place, etc, etc. And the more I get rid of, the easier it's going to be to find things. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few more of your comments now. I love it how some of you have gone back through old videos and watched those. And then suddenly I've been getting comments on really old videos, like videos of a year ago or 2 years ago. It's so nice to read through where people have noticed how things have changed. So thank you for commenting on some of my old videos. So Heather N3677 says, hello again, Emma. I've just caught up with your videos after falling behind over the summer. Life is very busy for me at the moment and about to get more busy with my eldest starting Gold Duke of Edinburgh and the youngest starting Silver, amongst other things. Wow, gold. Is that really involved then? Don't they have to like go out and do some like navigation thing and navigate themselves? So my daughter has put her name down saying that she's interested in the bronze, and I've had a little look at that and I think that's manageable with her schoolwork, but I'm interested in how much you have to do for silver and gold. I should read up about it really. I love the teddy charity. My eldest received a green teddy bear when he was very little after a check-up at the hospital. He was fine and still has it. Oh, for a long time he took it with him for holidays, not sure that it will ever be decluttered. I think you are making tremendous progress. I can really see a difference in your approach and ambition to reduce the stress of maintaining your home. I don't think I could cope so well without my washing machine. I think we must do at least 10 loads a week. Wow. And I've no idea where our nearest laundrette is located. 10 loads a week, is that for 4 of you? That's a lot of loads. You've motivated me today. I managed to clear 5 bin bags of donations along with a chair and a bag of rags. Wow, that's fantastic. So you managed to do loads. Well done, Heather. That's super. Heather put, P.S. the Aveeno bottles made me chuckle. I was a bit shocked. Bear in mind, Heather, that cupboard had been decluttered 2 times before. Maybe even 3, I think twice. And obviously what I'd thought before was, oh, we still use the Aveeno, so I'll keep it. Not thinking to myself, like what Cynthia said before, it's got a life on it. It's not you can't keep creams for forever. And I just didn't think about how my father-in-law uses the cream. And you know, when I took it over to him and my mother-in-law, they were both really pleased. And one of them had got like a lavender smell. We got that one in Italy. Because my mother-in-law hurt her arm and she'd got it in a cast, she'd got quite dry skin on her hands. And she was really pleased with the lavender one. She said, oh, I'm going to use that on my hands. So that was really nice. I'm glad I got rid of that to people who actually wanted it. Deja Grenage, so I love your inspirational decluttering videos. I love your donations to charity. You are doing a brilliant and beautiful job. Oh, Stacey from Virginia. Shira Tam. I always worry that I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Shirata M. Hi Emma, I enjoy your honesty with your housekeeping adventures. We're human and need to give ourselves grace. I was taught to run a household, not quite the skills that help in today's corporate world. A priority needs to be given to the bottom drawer, as this is having a significant effect on the ability to make the loft room a restful place. Also, regarding clothing that has more wear, if it is uncomfortable and you're not wearing it, the items are simply taking space from clothing that you feel fabulous in. Give yourself permission to pass on items someone else will find comfy. Good luck and keep up the inspiring work. Thank you for your post. I found this comment inspiring because I liked where it said, give yourself permission to pass on items. You're so right. I keep things because somebody has been kind to give them to me, because someone was considerate, even though the item is a bit tight, a bit big. I just don't like it. I keep it, meaning that I've got less and less space for the things that really bring me joy. Oh, so I did reply and I just said, you were right. Thank you for your post and highlighting the importance of the drawer. I need it sorted. And I did say to my husband about this again, I need that drawer sorted and then I can go back to trying. I won't say keep on top of the laundry because I'm so poor at it. I can't tell you how much I dislike it. But it is a barrier at the moment, isn't it? It's stopping me from being able to put some of the things away. And I do need to be stricter with some things that have got holes in. I was looking at a T-shirt that my husband was wearing in the house and it's got loads of holes in it. And he keeps on wearing it because it's like one that he's had for ages and it's one that I like and it's one that he likes. But in the words of others, we need to be ruthless and we need to accept that that piece of clothing has done a good job for us. We've worn it until it's nearly walked to the bin. And now it is time for something else to be given the same amount of wear. And we should also feel pleased that we've actually got that much wear out of things. In this world that we live in, where there is so much waste, so much in landfill, it's good when clothes get that much wear. Now, did you see that I'm going to be setting up a crisp shop? No, I'm joking. Did you see the number of crisps that I've got there? I can't quite believe it. I think the last couple of weeks I've been buying crisps, not realising that we've just not eaten the crisps of before. So I think I've probably got about 40 packets of crisps. So I'm not going to be buying any crisps for the foreseeable future. I've got the cheapo, like, little ones, or is it Aldi? No, little ones, that we all eat. And then I've got McCoy's, there's some popcorn there, but there's loads that has just been piled up and to such a degree that that's then made almost impossible to get to other things that I need to get to. So we really need to sort that out. And I was also just, eat the crisps and then not buy any more for the next probably 3 weeks with that numbers of packets, probably 4 weeks. And then I was going through some of my cupboards yesterday when I was looking for something for dinner. I wanted something like quick and easy. And I was looking for baked beans. Don't have any baked beans, but do have about 4 for starters, 4 tins of tomatoes, tomato soup. I've got, what else did I have in the cupboard that I found? There's not mince pies, Christmas puddings, two little Christmas puddings that I bought for my dad and then forgot to give him at Christmas time. So what I want to do is I want to focus over the course of the next couple of weeks, meals that use up those ingredients. I think it's good to have a few tins of spares, like, maybe 2 tins of tomato and 2 for starters, but you don't need 4 to 6. And some of the things in the cupboard have now been lurking at the back for probably a year. So maybe what I should do with them, if I'm not going to use them, I need to give them to the food bank if they're in date. That's the thing. I need to check the dates and give them away if we're just not going to use them. And if I've been bought them by other people for presents and I still don't want to eat them, not to feel bad about giving them away. I did give something away the other day. Someone had made something and given it to me, and I just knew that neither my husband or me were going to eat it. And I knew someone else that would eat it and would enjoy it. So I gave it to them and they were very pleased. But it has been sitting in my cupboard for probably 6 months with me thinking, I don't want to eat that. So I just need to get brave with some of these things. Right, the next comment that I'm going to go through is from Watching Till Jesus Comes. How are you, Watching Till Jesus Comes? I hope you and your family are well. She says, hello Emma, I have been watching. For some reason, I was no longer able to comment on anyone's videos for over a week. You've been making wonderful progress on your home. So sorry about the troubles with your washer. Thank you. Coffee Loving Queen says, Nat Rob is really nice. I love you both. She has done some very inspiring decluttering projects and all in some small pockets of time. What's interesting with Nat Rob is that someone mentioned to me about her ages ago, and I started watching her videos and actually did a shout out about her on one of my videos ages ago, maybe about a year ago. And then I completely forgot about her channel until someone fairly recently, I think it might have been, was it you, Nan Holmes? I forget now, but someone else said, about Nat Rob, and she'd been talking about going to Norfolk on holiday. So then I watched her again and thought, oh, bother, how did I forget to watch in between? I like her voice, and she's really interesting. Although I didn't agree with her saying, she did a reel where she said, there's no point going to university. I do not agree with that. I agree that for some jobs, there's no point going to university. If you can get a really good degree apprenticeship with a well-respected company in a field that you want, yeah, I think that's wise, because then you're being paid to work and then you can do your degree 1 day a week. But if you want to do something like dentistry, doctor, vet, you don't have any choice. You can't do an apprenticeship. So I didn't think that was I didn't agree with her with that. But she posts some really, really good videos. So if you've not found her already, I'd recommend. Kimberly Wood says, I'm so sickened by the violence. This is in relation to some of the shocking events over the last few weeks. I agree, Kimberly. In the United Kingdom, we've been experiencing some horrific crimes. I know that some people have children, so I won't say which crime, but it's a crime that predominantly impacts women. And the levels across the whole of the country are up by an incredibly scary percentage. And the sentences, the sentencing, prison sentencing, seems to be lower than what it used to be. And it almost feels like they're trying to kind of lower how serious the crime is, even though it destroys so many lives. But anyway, moving on. Holly says, well done, Mini Emma. I love the keyring. Nan Holmes says, I love the clips at the end. I'm glad about that. Always in Style. Hello, Always in Style. Always in Style is from Greece, and they say, hello from Greece. I binge watched all your videos and I think you've come a long way. I suggest you move your daughter's wardrobe to where her chest of drawers are, and the chest of drawers to where the wardrobe is. I think her room would feel larger. I also suggest to put the little library in your hallway facing the entrance door if it fits, or next to it, so you can put clutter right in the entrance. Try it. The only thing that I would say about that is I don't want to put anything closer to the door. You're right. People would just dump the things on the top of the bookshelf, and I don't want people to do that. That means every time we open the door, people will just see that bookcase all cluttered. So I'm not sure about that, but I think I could move the chest of drawers and the wardrobe round. And maybe you want to try and move all your glasses, plates, etc. from your lounge to your dining room crescenza, so you'll have more space in the lounge cabinet for your mementos and trinkets. As for your travel to a tidier home, I strongly recommend My Great Challenge. She is not a minimalist, but her early decluttering and organising videos will help you, especially in the organising aspect. October is the pink month in Greece, which is awareness for breast cancer. Maybe you want to consider donating to an organisation in England. Oh, that's a nice suggestion. I would love to have a ladybird timer. It is really cute. I wish you all the best. So for those of you that are interested about the ladybird timer, when I reach 4,000 subscribers, which is going to take a while, but when I do, I'm going to be giving away some ladybird timers. And you'll often see ladybirds sitting in the corner of my videos. It's a bit like Where's Wally? Where's the ladybird? Each time you could spot where the ladybird is in the video. I time myself for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. I also use ladybird to time vegetables and things like that on the oven, because I don't have a timer on my oven. So that's really useful. So when I get to 4,000 followers, I will be sending some ladybirds to live in other people's homes for you to look after them. I do have to make it clear that this is a giveaway that's nothing to do with YouTube. I'm liable for the giveaway. Any problems with the giveaway are my responsibility. And after I've sent the ladybirds to the lucky winners, I will not keep or retain any personal data. Okay, so I have to make that clear. That's really, really important. So if you are interested, then there is a post under where you see on my channel. You've got like videos, reels, and then you've got one section called posts. In that section, I've got a post about my ladybird timers. Please scroll down and just put your details to say yes, you want to be part of the draw. So thank you very much, Always in Style, for your suggestions. There's quite a lot of ideas for me to think through there, and another YouTube recommendation. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so next comment is from Cynthia Miller. Hello Cynthia, how are you? Now, I hope you're feeling better than when you posted this, because Cynthia's just had several vaccinations and is feeling quite poorly. So Cynthia says, hello Emma. Slowly but surely progress is being made on the Lego. It's good you encouraged your daughter to help, since it is her stuff. I agree, and also she's going to benefit from having any money that we make on this Lego within her savings. So I do think it's really important that she takes a very active role. So I'm going to be encouraging her more regularly with this. I think the storage bench for your gardening pots is such a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? I'm a bit confused. Is the complaint issue at job number 1 completely resolved and done with? I hope it is, for your sake. So no, it isn't. It's still ongoing. And the senior manager who's involved has now gone on holiday for 3 weeks. So if you think, I have had to put up with some really awful behaviour now for probably close on a year, which I have excused because the person's got various difficulties and stress and trauma and pain. So I've excused all of this. And then if you think, it was just before my holiday, wasn't it, where I was then told about this. I literally logged in and my manager's manager had sent me an email like at 11 o'clock at night. So I'm glad I didn't see that, because that would have really affected my sleep. And I spoke to her that morning just before I was then going to deliver a really big event, which I felt was completely thoughtless, because it's difficult then to get into the right frame of mind to block something out. So it's now been going on, so all of July, all of August, and nearly all of September, because as I record this, we're on the 23rd, I think, 23rd of September, and she's on holiday. I have suggested they also speak to somebody else who has witnessed some of the things that I've had to deal with. But I guess now, the longer this goes on, the less bothered I am. And also, when I wrote the report, when I've read the report, there's not a single thing in it. The report is very nice, but I say that not as it's difficult to explain without going into the detail. The report needs to not be very nice. It needs to be very clear that certain things are not considered acceptable and not reasonable. But unfortunately, as with some of these things, people in senior managerial positions try to be friends with everybody when you actually really need clarity on what is suitable and what is not. It's very, very hard. Cynthia says, hubby and I are feeling poorly, as 2 days ago we went and got our yearly immunisations, flu, COVID and RSV. Can I just check, Cynthia, you do mean that you had them all together? Did you have all of them in one arm, or do they put like 2 in one arm and 1 in the other? They told us we'd probably feel sickly for a few days, and they were right. The only thing that I think is there's a lot of evidence now that's showing that it's not good for your immune system to have them all at the same time. I know it might be convenient for the doctors. You're older than me, I know that, and it can be a real big thing on your immune system to deal with all at the same time. I hope you are now feeling a lot better, you and your husband, and it's only lasted for a couple of days, hopefully. So I just wanted to explain what you're seeing in the video. So you can see this is where the Halloween decorations are. I was convinced that it was a big black bag full of toys from my childhood when I was like about 2 years old. But they've been moved out of here, so maybe I got rid of some of them. But there are a few things that I was able to get rid of, a few things that I've been given by other people, and I just decided I don't need to keep it anymore. I also went through some more schoolwork and found some paperwork that I can just show my daughter, let her laugh about, because some of the stories are quite funny, and then I can get rid of them. There were a few projects that I did want to keep, which I can remember exactly how I felt. Like there's a project that I've done on North America, a project that I did on the Broads in Norfolk, a project on the Victorians, and I can transport myself back to that time and exactly how I felt. Also, if you remember, I put the little cot in the cupboard there, which my sister had given my daughter, and I weren't quite sure what to do. I messaged my mum and asked her, and she said, just give it to the charity shop. And I said, oh, should I ask my sister? And she said, nah, just give it to the charity shop. But today I did message my sister and just said, thank you very much for giving the cot. Now I'm thinking about what to do with it. Would you like to put it in your loft in the event of having grandchildren? And my sister said, no, you can get rid of it. So I am going to keep my little cot, but that means I've got a lot more space because I'm only keeping one. I'm not trying to keep 2. So that's good. There was also some cuddly toys I'd quite like to get rid of. Did you see kind of the cushion, which is in an arch shape? That was the breastfeeding cushion that my husband got me, and do you know, I can't bring myself to get rid of that. And the reason why was that takes me back to a time of feeling particularly emotional. I was really struggling with breastfeeding. I thought it was all going to be easy and going to be natural, and what society tells us is all straightforward and it's like a dream, it's so easy. And I really struggled, and about, you know, holding the baby in the right way and trying to get the baby to latch. And there were so many things going on, and obviously my husband couldn't really think what he could do to help, because he doesn't know how to get the baby to latch on. He doesn't know about different positions to hold for the baby to hold. But I think that was about day 2 or day 3. And we never really sort of waste any money or spend any money on much really at all. We're very careful. But he went out and looked for this. And then he brought it up the hospital, and that really meant so much to me. So I put it around my waist, and then my daughter laid on top of it, which just meant I had the support. It was so much easier. It really helped me. So I can't bring myself to get rid of that yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just keep hold of it forever. Who knows? But I managed to, so I got rid of some toys, I got rid of some paperwork, I got rid of that big cot. So I'm very pleased with that. And then I'm on to a little clip of me in the garden when it was sunny and not raining. And I do an awful lot of work in the garden, in the front garden, clearing all the beds, trying to get it all done before the frost. So please look out on Emma's Life in Norfolk for my video on that if you're interested. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Thank you for your support and your encouragement. By the time you watch this, I might be getting closer to the Ladybird Timer giveaway. Exciting times. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!